What's up, DLM Fam? Today we are going to get into how to create custom sets. This is going to be a wet set, and when I say custom set, I'm talking about using an assortment of lengths, curls, and diameters that are going to be tailored solely to your client's face. When I was a beginner lash tech, I was a cat eye warrior. So if you're a cat eye warrior, how I was my first year or two of doing lashes, just stick around and watch the entire video because we got to get into some things. One thing that truly helped me build my lash clientele over the course of time was diving into understanding mapping, diameters, curls, eye shapes, the whole nine. When I tell y'all lashes is not a one size fit all, it's really not. And also too, investing in other trainings. So for this wet set, I am going to use my super bonder, which is linked in the description as well, available for purchase, to create my spikes. A wet set is literally just one spike attached to one natural lash. And some people like to call it a mega classic or classic with a pop. Whatever name you choose to put on your service list is fine. But all in all, this is what the set truly is. One spike attached to one natural lash. And now I begin my tape prep. I'm going to go ahead and tape down her bottom lashes using the gel pad just to cover some of her beautiful bottom lashes. Do y'all see them? So full and thick. Love that. And then I'm going in with my Silicone Hypoallergenic tape. This tape is available under miscellaneous on my website. It works so well with my clients and it lays those bottom lashes down nice and secure. Now, let's dive into the mapping of this set. So she does have a downturned eye, and she did say to me prior to our set that she has went to other artists, and they did a great job, but the mapping didn't suit her well. So I examined her eye shape very carefully, and I said, you have a downturned eye. So we are going to do a doll eye, which is shorter on the ends and longer in the middle, but let's add a twist to it. Let's make it wispy. So for this doll eye, for the base, I'm going to use 0.03 C curl, 10, 11, 12, and back down to 11, 13 cc curl and diameter 0.5 being the longest length, which is going to open up her eye. And those lines that I drew for the lines of demarcation for the 13 cc curl, those are the starting points of her iris so that I can really lift her eyelid and give that sort of illusion that her eye is more open. Before I do every set, I do like to coat my clients' natural lashes with super bonder. And for the spikes, I am going to use my 0.03 B curl trace. The reason why I'm using B curl for the spikes for the wet set at first is because B curl is a more relaxed curl that shoots straight out, which helped my wispy sets come out so much better. When I tell you it gives such a rich, like real wispy look, using other curls like C, CC curl, D curl for spikes, when I tell you, like, use B curl. If you don't have your hands on some B curl, go on ahead to my website and put a few B curl in your cart. You won't regret it. It's going to be such a game changer for your sets. The tweezers that I am using is my straight isolation tweezer and my 90-degree thick boot fiber tip tweezer. This is my best seller. She's very much that girl. She flies off the shelf like water, okay? Love her because she has that thick width at the tip, and it really helps me pick up the extensions, especially when doing these spikes. It helps keep my spike closed when I go to dip it in the adhesive, the fiber tip. So that is a little tip as well. If you did not know that, a fiber tip tweezer can help you in so many areas, especially as a beginner lash tech. Now, while I am laying the spikes down, keep in mind that this is on her top layer. She does have about, I want to say anywhere between 3 to 5 layers of natural lashes. So she has a very thick, rich, healthy lash line. So her top layer of lashes is going to she's going to have a bit more lashes than the average client who has like a sparser lash line. So I am making sure that I am taking my time while I am isolating to see where her top layer of lashes start at, just so that I can really ensure that my spikes are going to be 100% visible with this set. Let's also make note of the fact that because this is a wet set, but we're making it wispy, it was so important for me to choose the correct curl for my spikes, which was B curl, and make sure that I skip the appropriate amount of lengths. So I am skipping 3 lengths from my base length of this set just to ensure that my spikes are 1000% visible. Let's also make note of the fact that B curl and J curl, because of the type of curl that they are, they're more relaxed and straight and they shoot out. Your lengths can appear to be longer than the other average curls like C, CC, and D curl. Because the curls are so straight and they shoot out, you don't need to go super duper long. So a 13 mm of J and B curl can 100% look like a 14 mm if you were using C, CC, or D curl. And this is not a super duper long set. Although the spikes are 13, 14, 16, 15, and back down to 14, those are the longest lengths on this entire set. The base lengths, which are 10, 11, 13, 12, and back down to 11, those are more shorter to medium lengths. So if you ever have a client that says things like, I want it wispy, but more like shorter to medium lengths, these are pretty much the lengths that they are probably asking for. You can even take it down a notch lower and start off with 9 mm's for any client who says that they want any shorter sets. Remembering that sets do not need to be super duper long and thick and looking crazy and wild in order for your sets to come out looking dark or fluffy or wispy. Those are a lot of things to keep in mind, especially as a beginner. I know with social media, there's so much in front of you. There's so much misinformation. There's so much different information, period, because what might work for you might not work for someone else, vice versa. That's why when I do my tutorials, I say how I do it, and you can always implement my techniques and strategies into what you already do. So you get the best of both worlds. Now, at this point, I've laid about 20 to 30% of my spikes on her top layer. And I want to always make sure when I am laying down her spikes, I always want to make sure that I distribute an even amount of spikes all throughout her eye, just so that my set does not come out looking lopsided. It is super duper important, especially when you are doing wispy sets, to make sure that your spikes are spread out. This particular set, because I did content and she has a very thick lash line, this set took me well over, I think, anywhere between 3 to 4 hours. If I wasn't doing content, it probably would have only taken me 3 hours because she has a thick lash line. And those are things to always, always, always remember as a lash artist. Speed does not matter. Direction is so much more important than speed. A client would rather sit there and allow you to take your time and get it done correctly and produce quality rather than rushing to get them off of the table. So never ever forget that it is okay to take your time. And when you do have clients who come in who have rich, thick, full lash lines like you see here, understand that it is going to take a little longer than the average client who has a lesser amount of lashes. The adhesive that I am using for this set will also be linked in the description. This is my Black Power adhesive that I'm using. It is a 0.5 to 1 second drying time glue. This adhesive gives my clients up to 1 month retention, and it works well in an assortment of different environments. So you can check out to see on my website if this adhesive will be a good fit for you and your environment. At this point in the set, I did tape up the spikes that I did lay down on the top layer just so that I could have full visibility of her bottom and middle layer. I'm going in now with my shorter lengths. It is so important that if you are trying to achieve any wispy sets when making it wet and wispy, that you have to understand that your spikes can get washed in if you do not lay your spikes first, and make sure you're using the appropriate curl and lengths for your spikes, especially for wet sets and making them wispy, just because a wet set is one spike to one natural lash, so it can be so easy for those spikes to get washed in with other spikes. So when I tell you, like, I really took my time on this one to ensure that this set was going to be bussin'. And let me tell y'all too, right? My first wet set that I ever did, like, I saw the wet sets all over social media. I was like, they're so pretty, they're so pretty. I want to try to do that. Like, I want to try to do that. Like, it just seems so simple. It's not simple. It is, but it's not. You have to consistently practice any style or set that you want to really master. And I learned that very quickly when trying to try a new style about, I want to say last fall. So I tried a wet set last fall, and I just kept at it from all last fall through this year. And when I tell y'all, stick around to the end of this video to see the final result, because I feel like I really perfected my wet sets. Like, you know, it's always room for improvement, but I for sure perfected my wet sets through consistently practicing, researching, and really understanding how wet sets work, because there's so many different ways that you can do wet sets. For this one, I used bonder on my spikes because we wanted this set to really stand out and be bold, not too long. And remember that too, sets don't need to be long in order for them to be bold. We just really wanted to hone in on that boldness, that wisp of the whole set. And you can also use the no bonder technique to do your wet sets as well. I will do a tutorial on that later down the line. And you can always let me know in the comments as well, any video recommendations, any tutorials, any business tips or anything like that that you would like me to cover. And I will for sure keep that in my back pocket and prepare the content for you guys. But now, the set is about 85 to nearly 90% done, and I'm doing what I always do. I'm combing through my work at the end just to ensure that any other natural lash that needs to be lashed is going to be lashed, so that I can ensure that my set is going to come out cohesively and even. So when I tell y'all take your time, I'm not just telling y'all that just to hear myself talk. Take your time. And or I want to say majority, if not all of these clips in this particular video, this is all in real time. Of course, you know, it is, you know, chopped up. However, me isolating and placing all of these lashes, this is all in real time. So for all my baby artists out there who will come across my page, just be patient with yourself. These are fine, small, tiny hairs. It is not as easy as social media makes it out to be. I've been at this for almost 6 years, and my work just got to the level that I wanted it to be at. Like, do you see this phenomenal custom set? Like, when I tell you I be in such awe at times when it comes to my own work, like, consistency and then properly investing in yourself can really take you far, and using quality products. Y'all know at the end of every set, I have to seal the deal using my retention duo. If you struggle with retention, get your hands on my retention duo. It is currently on sale. Using Super Bonder at the end of the set ensures that my adhesive is going to cure and my clients can get their lashes wet immediately after the service. They no longer have to wait 24 hours, and this maximizes my retention as well, and it can reduce any possible irritation caused by the glue fumes. This right here is a before shot. As you can see, her lid, it turns down at the end and shoots up in the middle, and this is the final result of this custom wet and wispy set using all DLM products. So if you are not already using my products, you need to run to my website, linked in my description, and stock up on all quality, beginner-friendly, easy-to-use supplies today. When I tell you, it's worth every single penny. These lashes pull right off of the strip. They are dark, they're matte, and if you've been looking for a lash kit, not that Amazon kit that's going to irritate you and make you feel like lashing is not for you, invest in a quality, good kit today. I have fully loaded kits right on my website, and you get everything you will need. This right here, let me show y'all how my 90-degree thick boot fiber tip tweezers paired with my lash trays. Do y'all see how that fans out so effortlessly? one nice soft pinch, and I got me a nice thin base with a wide fan. And of course, you know I have to dip the fan in my black power adhesive that's going to help aiding in making that needlepoint thin base. Shop all Lash supplies today and subscribe to my channel.